After Andorra states that Darren needs help to succeed in business, he thinks that a visit from reclusive client Madame Marushka is actually his mother-in-law in disguise and proceeds to purposely sabotage the account. This time on Twitch Talk, we'll be discussing Bewitched episode number 104, How to Fail in Business with All Kinds of Help. Welcome to Twitch Talk.
Twitch Talk, brought to you by The Bewitched Continuum by Adam Michael James, the ultimate linear guide to the classic TV series, now in color.
Gentlemen, people love classic TV. And what's more classic than Bewitched? But in the 60s, audiences didn't demand the same level of continuity that we expect today. So how to make sense of 8 seasons of Bewitched? The Bewitched Continuum, the only book to compare and contrast all 254 episodes, along with witch illnesses, top 10s, and more. It's the ultimate linear guide. And the slogan? The Bewitched Continuum. Come feel the magic.
Now in color.
Well, welcome everybody. Today we're going to be discussing Bewitched episode number 104, How to Fail in Business with All Kinds of Help. And I have my co-host David and Mike here with me today, and we have our panel joining us. We have Anna, yay! And Steve, yay! And Justin, yay! And June, yay! And Susan is with us, yay! So this episode was written by Ron Friedman, and it was directed by Richard Kinnan. It was produced by William Frug, and the executive producer is Harry Ackerman. The main cast includes Elizabeth Montgomery as Samantha, Dick York as Darren, Agnes Moorehead as Andorra, David White as Larry Tate, and Aaron and Diane Murphy as Tabitha. The additional cast includes Lisa Kirk as Madame Marushka, Henry Beckman as Arthur Wilkerson, Jill Foster as Betty, Myra DeGroot as the receptionist, and Ralph Brooks as the bartender. And now I'm going to hand it over to David, and David is going to give us some of the historical information on the episode and also of other events on this date.
Thank you, Mark. How to Fail in Business with All Kinds of Help was the 30th episode of Season 3 and the 104th episode overall. Production was completed on February 27, 1967, and it was originally broadcast on April 6, 1967, with a repeat broadcast on August 24th, 1967. British actor Jonathan Firth and Finnish 10-pin bowler Mika Koivuniemi were both born on April 6, 1967, the day that this episode aired. The number one song was Happy Together by the Turtles, and the top motion picture at the box office was, coincidentally, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, starring Robert Morse and Michelle Lee. Over to you, Mike.
This is from my spring collection. Tell me how you love it. quite mad. You know what's quite mad? Darren. Oh my stars, he's just hipping and hollering and slamming doors. And there's a toddler in the house. A toddler, justice for Tabitha. And then I just thought Darren was kind of, a little overdone. It's just the way he's written in this part of third season, and all through fourth and half of fifth. He's just so volatile. But anyways, David is right. The title of this episode does come from the 1961 musical, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. The film release was just a month before this episode. Lisa Kirk in this episode she just owns the whole thing. I smile every time I see that scene with her coming into the office. She's just so commanding and theatrical and over the top. It's great. And she is a Broadway actress, and it really shows. And she just really makes the whole thing sparkle. And one other thing I will point out, if you look, Madame Marushka, the ad, it has no H. And the closed captioning has no H. But everyone says Marushka, and go figure. There is inconsistency. And credits also say Marushka. So take that H and put it in the alphabet. Moving on.
All right. I never really paid attention to that. So that's, yeah. All right. So what we're going to do is, as always, we're going to go through and we're each going to talk about the episode, how you feel about it, anything that, any bloopers or anything continuity issues that you might have noticed. And then when you're done, we're going to rate it from 1 to 4 stars, 4 stars being the best, 1 star being the worst. And then we will go back at the end and average out the ratings and come up with the overall rating for episode number 104, How to Fail in Business with All Kinds of Help. So let's start with Anna.
This episode has some of my favorite lines, and I'm just going to say a few, hopefully not stealing them from everyone. There's the Sylvia Plath reference at the beginning, which is hilarious. And when Darren says he's going to the club and Sam says you don't have one, and he says I'll join one. Those are just two of my all-time favorite Bewitched lines. Like Adam, I laugh at just about everything Madame Marushka says. She is just fabulous, such a great character. It's like she comes out of nowhere. Sam in the photo is kind of cute. I mean, it's kind of extra. This is a very magic-y episode, lots and lots of magic, and there's some episodes where it's mostly talking about magic, but this is just bang, bang, bang. Tabitha is at the cutest stage, I think. I mean, it is my favorite Tabitha era at all. So I absolutely love the blanket scene. It's just adorable. So I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you, Anna. So now let's move on to Steve.
Well, this is a fun episode. I really enjoyed this. There are not a lot of things in this episode that I dislike. There are a lot of things that I do enjoy. I like the intro and the outro. I like the Samantha, Endora saying, Samantha, your heritage is, you should be in a star, in a flash of color, in the wind. And then, of course, Mother, why don't you blow? And she blows out. And little Tabitha is just enjoying having the fan in her face there. It's great. And I like the outro where Darren makes the lamp go out. I thought that was very clever. It's nice to see Darren having a sense of humor about things. Madame Marushka, oh my goodness, just delightful, overacting to the correct degree. A partner, I should think. Yes, a partner. It's great stuff. But the thing that really leapt out and caught my attention the most were some interesting camera choices in this episode. In one particular scene, as Darren has had enough. He and Sam are on the stairs. Darren's going to leave. And as they're both coming down the stairs, it's a crane shot. Why would anybody go to the trouble of having a crane that's following them as they go down the stairs? I don't think I've ever seen that happen in another episode. And then when Darren is at the cloak closet, there's this very unusual angle where we see his point of view looking at Sam with the front door behind her. It's part of an axis that we haven't seen before, I don't think. I don't know why you would go to the trouble to do those shots. When you think about that hallway between the cloak closet and the vestibule there at the front door, it's very narrow. And in fact, when you see the point of view shot of Sam, the camera is uncomfortably close to Elizabeth Montgomery for the shot. So I don't know why those shots were there. That notwithstanding, I'll give this episode 3.5 stars.
Okay. All right. How about you, Justin?
So this episode opened with basically, I think Endora popped in and asked Samantha to go to the elephant races with her in New Delhi. There was also another episode where Samantha called Uncle Arthur, and he popped in and said he was at, I don't remember what it was, ostrich races on some other side of the world. And I think to myself, if it's the afternoon in the United States, it's the middle of the night in India. So those ostrich races and those elephant races are going on at 2 o'clock in the morning? That doesn't make any sense to me. So anyway, Madame Marushka, a lot of people find her funny. Even when I was a kid, I watched this episode and I found her kind of annoying, because she is so self-absorbed. And she called Darren by the wrong name, like Mr. Stephans or something like that. And names are important to people. And he corrected her, and she still called him by the wrong name. I think that's very rude. Larry's such a sycophant. That's part of his character. He agrees with the plan on everything. He even called Darren by the same wrong name that Madame Marushka called him in front of her. In a lot of episodes of Bewitched, Endora puts a spell on Darren, and he doesn't know the spell is on him. In this episode, he thinks Endora is doing something to him, when in fact she isn't. So for this episode, it was okay. You know, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. If I were to sit down and watch Bewitched and pick an episode to watch, this would not be it. So it was mediocre. I give it 2.5 stars.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's move on to June after that.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, I did like this episode. I thought it was very cute. And I really liked in the beginning how Endora talked about Samantha being a creature of the wind. And it was so poetic, everything she said, until Samantha told her to blow. She's like, she deserved that windstorm. And then when Darren was telling Sam about what happened, I thought it was really silly how she kind of handled that when she said, I can't wait to tell Mother. And then he got really suspicious, why? She should have said something like, well, just to prove you could do it without her help. But of course she made it, even worse. But that was kind of the silly part. And it did drive me crazy with, his over-the-top temper tantrums, in this, like Mike was saying earlier. I was like, oh my God. I can put my 2 cents in about Madame Marushka. I love that outfit. I was like, I really like that dress. I'm sad they don't make those anymore. She was way over the top, but very fun. Then, of course, it kind of irritated me that Darren didn't believe Sam when she said her mother was there all morning. It's like there's several times that, he just kind of doesn't believe her or questions her. And I was like, by now you should like really trust her and believe her when she says something. But I like that. But anyway, like I said, the temper tantrums were a little got on my nerves a little bit. Then him going to leave her because she did magic to help him. I was like, oh, get over it, Darren. Which, is like he did kind of get over it at the end, and he kind of had a fun sense of humor, and I liked the ending. I thought it was very cute. Also with the light, I thought that was very cute. So, but overall, I'm going to give this one 3 stars.
Okay. Susan.
Well, I really enjoyed this episode. There are some episodes that just make me belly laugh, and this is one of them. I think that Lisa Kirk is just brilliant. And she makes me laugh. I love the running gag that goes all through this of not being able to pronounce people's names right. I mean, she's always pronouncing it Stephens. I love when she says, McMahon, Kate, and Stephens. Cracks me up. But everybody, she's demanding that everyone pronounce her name correctly, Marushka, but she doesn't have any scruples about mispronouncing Darren's name. And then Darren even calls himself Durwood at one point in this, which kind of continues the gag line even more. I think that when they're in in Madame Marushka's office and the layouts go flying up, and I think it's really cleverly done. Somebody else didn't like it. I think it was Mike, but I thought it was cleverly done the way it got smaller and smaller until it was in the picture. And I love pictures coming to life. I mean, they did this way before Harry Potter did it, which I think is fun. The comforter, when Samantha moves the comforter by magic at the very end, takes a wrong turn, in my opinion, at the top of the stairs. It goes to the right into where the guest room is. And every other time when they go to Tabitha's room, you see them go up the stairs and they go to the left. So her room has got to be on the left. And that just bothered me that the comforter went into the right, into the guest room. My very favorite line, it's in the catalog of all my favorite lines of the whole series, is when Madame Marushka says, "Goodbye!" and Larry out of the office. I just rolled laughter with that one. It's just hilarious. So, based on the fact that it makes me laugh out loud, even as many times as I've seen it, I think that's a rare thing. That you can watch it 15 times and then you watch it again and it still makes you laugh out loud. That's a good sign. So I give it a 4.
All right. David.
So I'm with Mike and June on this. Darren was too ornery in this one, way too short of a fuse. And he was the same way 2 episodes prior in No More Mr. Nice Guy. Just flew off the handle with no provocation. But I do love Madame Marushka, and I love her calling him Stephens, and I love Larry calling him Stephens too, because he's so... I love Larry, but he's so shady. Lisa Kirk, as mentioned, awesome. Just totally awesome. And I agree with Susan about the layouts flying up into the picture. But that effect is more what we remember it as, because if you actually look at it, the layout's lifting up off the floor in front of the secretary's desk and flying up out of camera, and then it switches to the painting and they come into Samantha's hand. So our brain makes us think, oh, they shrunk, because I always thought they shrunk. I love it when the wind's blowing on Tabitha and she's just enjoying it. And I also got a little scared. I always get a little scared because like the bread bin goes flying. And I'm sure that they didn't shoot that scene with Liz and Aaron in the same room, because I always think, oh my gosh, that bread bin could have went and smacked Tabitha right in the face. And this episode harkens back to a couple other ones, like the We Live in the Sparkle of a Star is, of course, back to season 1 and Be It Ever So Mortgaged when Endora first says that. When Darren invites Madame Marushka to lead out the window, that's exactly what he did to Endora in second season Trick or Treat. So I thought that was fun. And then I've always loved that end scene. It kind of redeems Darren for me because he was being so playful. And when I was little, I was like as shocked as Samantha was that he could like do that magic. But then as I'm older, I think, how did he get his arm? His arms had to have been really long to unplug it. And I don't think that her lamp would be plugged in on his side. So anyway, I said all that to say this. Darren's annoying. If you hadn't been so annoying, I would have gave it 4, but I can't because he's so annoying. So I give it
3. Okay, and Mike.
Well, we've got some like-minded stuff going on here. In the opening, I wondered the same thing. It's like Endora, just making the red box gonna hit Tabitha in the head. It's like, aren't you paying attention to this, Endora? When Tabitha says bye to Darren, that's taken from the previous episode. It's witchcraft. They just kind of plug that audio in there. I do think that in a way, Endora is kind of making up for her spell 2 episodes prior in No More Mr. Nice Guy, where she turned everybody against Darren, and now she's turning somebody toward Darren. And Endora even does say, rarely, well, it was my fault in a way, which you usually don't hear her do. I wonder why. Yeah, Susan, you're right. I did kind of wonder why the portfolio flying in is full size and it's small. I guess it's supposed to shrink, but we don't see it, so there's a disconnect in my brain. But why does Larry leave that on the floor in the first place? I mean, Madame Marushka hates it, but you'd think he'd pick it up and keep going. By the way, in traffic, I actually do say when I pass people, "Goodbye, peasants!" Let's see, there's a couple other things. When Darren comes down and says he'll join a club, actually, I think he was already a member of the club in Double Split because he went and got that room with Larry when they were leaving their wives. Maybe he just let the membership lapse. And then there's that at the end, I do love Darren's little twitch, and he gets his own sound effect, which is really cool. I have to agree with David in terms of ratings. I would give it a 4, except Darren, so I give it 3 stars.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start out, and I'm going to say that this is one of my absolute favorite episodes. It's like Susan said, I can watch this thing and I probably have a million times, and every time I watch it, this is one of the few episodes that makes me laugh out loud. And it's Madame Marushka. I mean, she is fabulous. And I don't use that word a lot. But I always say that, to any Bewitched fan, there are certain characters that appeared throughout the series that, even if they only made one appearance, but you say the name of the character and everybody knows who you're talking about. And everybody would know when you say Madame Marushka, everybody's going to know Madame Marushka. That I just think she is just brilliant. Some of the things about the episode, and I'm surprised that, maybe this didn't get mentioned, but talking about the picture, when they're in the picture on the wall, when there's like the shot of the picture, when it's an actual picture, it fills the frame. But when they show them, Samantha and the 2 models, it's a really wide shot. You can see the edge of the backdrop, and then there's it looks like it's siding from the front of the house. in the studio, because there's like white, like siding, and there's a gap between the two. They filmed it. They didn't crop it, because you can also see like where they've got like the edge of the picture frame, but they didn't crop what they filmed to make it fill, so you can actually see the side. And there's one, it's really quick, but if you watch it very carefully, they cut back from like Samantha from Samantha to the secretary, and then they cut back. Very quickly, you can see a crew member run behind the backdrop. It's very quick, but if you look very carefully, you'll see him. I find it very odd that Endora is wearing the same outfit throughout the entire episode, and this episode takes place over at least 2 days. Samantha changes, 3 times? And I love her when she's in that green, like, turtleneck with her hair, I think she looks great. I wish she had worn her hair like that more often. But yeah, she changes her outfit like 3 times, and Dora wears the same outfit and that weird braid thing on top of her hair. Yeah, Darren is very annoying. But you know what? The more I think about it, Darren's just annoying, period. A lot of times he provokes everything. If he would, be nice, Endora's going to be nice, but he provokes her. So I think a lot of times he deserves what he gets. And again, June mentioned, it's like, once again, Samantha tells him that Endora was there with her all morning, and he doesn't believe her. So he gets what he deserves, I guess. I just think, even in spite of Darren and how much of a jerk he is, I love this episode. I just do. I like I said, I laugh out loud every single time I watch it, and I love Lisa Kirk. I think Madame Marushka is she's the best. So I have to give this episode 4 stars. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to average out our ratings and get the overall rating for Bewitched episode number 104, How to Fail in Business with All Kinds of Help. We'll be right back.
Fashion-wise, this is very much a wife episode for Samantha, except for the beginning. She starts off with the green and brown, and when she leans into the stove, she really kind of does look like she's disappearing. This is just one of her I love being a housewife moments. And Dora is just wearing a fabulous outfit. She wears the same outfit during the whole episode, I think. Madame Marushka is just the most fabulous simplicity. I mean, I look at it, it's like, what is it? Dress, hat, stole, and it's just amazing. She just carries it off, and I absolutely love her all black outfit with the hat. And Madame Marushka's secretary is one of the most fabulous of all. She has Poochie, super cool glasses. Betty looks cute this episode in a little sky blue net suit, but Madame Marushka's secretary is kind of killing it.
Y'all bored at home? You got nothing to do? The Bewitched history book will come to your rescue. With over 700 pages of info and fun, you won't wanna put it down until the day is done, huh? If you're a true Bewitched fan, then all we can say is get online and order yours today.
Twitch Talk has been brought to you by The Bewitched History Book by David L. Pierce, covering all 254 episodes of Bewitched and tying in the real-life events of the time.
Okay, well, welcome back to Twitch Talk. And now it's time for us to get the overall rating for Bewitched episode number 104, How to Fail in Business with All Kinds of Help. So let's just refresh. Anna gave it 3.5 stars. Steve gave it 3.5 stars. Justin gave it 2.5 stars. June gave it 3 stars. Susan gave it 4 stars. David 3 stars. Mike 3 stars. And I gave it 4 stars. So when we average it out, we come up with 3.3125. So we're going to round this one down to 3 stars. 3 stars for How to Fail in Business with All Kinds of Help. Yay! Samantha catches a witch's virus that drives everyone up the wall. No matter what she says or to whom, it rhymes. Next time on Twitch Talk, we'll be discussing Bewitched episode number 158, Samantha the Bard. Okay, so I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my co-hosts, David and Mike, and the panel, Anna, Steve, Justin, June, and Susan. Thanks a lot, everybody, and we'll see you next time, and best Twitches, everyone! Yeah! Cheers!